Hello, welcome to the Lalo Dagach podcast. Some of you might have heard on the news recently, this was sometime last week from right now, on April 13th, 2017, a student named Mashal Khan, who was a student of Abdul Wali Khan University, had an argument with some other students in his university in Pakistan, and they started to talk about religion apparently, and he was accused of blasphemy. The next day, students came back, and apparently there were hundreds of them. They pulled him out of his room, and in front of the cafeteria of the university, they proceeded to undress him, beat him, with sticks, with stones, with their feet. I saw a couple of videos of this happen, and it was quite horrific. And this is not completely unknown to happen in Pakistan, that people are accused of blasphemy and it leads to violence. And when this does happen, it doesn't just happen with a few people. It's often large mobs of people that this happens with. In Pakistan, according to Pew Research, about 76% of the population agree with the punishment for death for apostasy, for leaving the religion. 89% think the punishment for adultery should be stoning. 87% believe that religious judges should decide whether a family or property disputes should be settled. And 84% believe that Sharia should be the official law of the country, which for the most part it is. And after hearing about this news, which was talked about online for since last week, and even since last week, there's actually been more reports of attacks for the accusation of blasphemy. I believe there's been about 3 in different parts of northern Pakistan in the last month. I was contacted by someone who I am friends with on social media, who I had spoken with before, and I know he is from Pakistan, and he is an atheist. And usually I am not big on interviewing people who are anonymous online in the West, but obviously in certain cases there are people who are just such an imminent danger that there is really no other way to speak with them publicly. When we spoke about this, when we spoke about Mashal Khan and what had happened to him, I Skyped with my friend here, Ali, and Ali was very happy to Skype with me with his camera on and show me his home and show me his face. And he actually was saying that he wanted to show me because he's very sad that for the most part when speaking about these subjects, it's always hiding, it's always behind closed doors. So he seemed really happy to show me himself, his home, and talk about what's happening in his country. And unfortunately, you can't see that. But I'm very happy that he wants to talk about it. And I think he's very brave to talk about it. And that's what we're going to go over today. And so thank you for coming on, Ali.
Thank you. Welcome. You talk to me. I'm thankful for you that you discussed with me about that topic. And I'm happy that I'm talking to someone. And basically, I feel you are represents us who are an atheist or who are ex-Muslims or whatever we are, and people who don't believe in such mysterious and hidden and stupid religions and other things. So I'm glad to talk with you.
I'm very glad to talk with you too, and this is one of the reasons I I feel like I really should be talking about this. Me personally, I come from a family of my grandfather was an atheist, my father is an atheist, I'm an atheist, and I've been an atheist my whole life. And it's just unheard of for me to have limits as far as what you can believe and what you can think, and that critical thinking isn't allowed. To me, I've had that gift my whole life. I perhaps have not been privileged as far as economically my whole life. I guess I'm, very fairly middle class family, but I suppose I can say I've been rich with the gift of a family who allowed me to think for myself. And also, I've always lived in countries where there was no imposition as far as what I can say or what I can believe. And when I hear that there's other people who don't have the right to even think or even speak the most basic truths about the world and the universe.
Yeah, you're completely right. Yeah, you're completely right. Like a country where we are living, we are fighting for the freedom of expression. We don't want to want money. We don't want to any luxury life. We want that we have to write what we are thinking. So you must give us that right. But these fanatic countries where we are living, uh, it is very tough time. As a human being, I think we have the only opportunity that we think we can make our own sense, and we can give our own write our questions and get our answers about those things. But those are not happening in my country. And even though my family, if you heard that, you were shocked that my family is not talking with me because I'm not praying. Even though they don't know, so I didn't declare to them that I am an atheist. But I don't pray, and I don't follow that taboos and that tradition. So generally, my family see that I don't have a belief in a religion. So they think I am untouchable. So they don't want to talk with me. They don't want to laugh and say things.
Is that almost all your family, or is it just part of your family?
All my family generally, because we are some friends. We can gather and we can laugh, and I'm happy that my wife too. She's an atheist too, and we are happy and comfortable. But the people who are not who is his partner, life partner, or not an atheist, a family member, or not liberal, they feel they are living in a more time. Like they are living, even though sometimes I think prison is good than this. This world where I am living. Sometimes prison you have your own self where you think you can talk with walls. So like now in a Pakistan, particularly in atheists, they are talking, they are living like in a prison, in a cell, and in a compound walls. They are talking only the doors and those walls, and only we have the only now opportunity like you type of people who are our friends, whom we are talking, and we are feel little bit comfortable.
So could you tell us about what you have heard about Mashal Khan and kind of what happened from what you understand?
Yes, that I studied those things, and it happened from when this country came from after partition, like Pakistan, India. When they said it's a Pakistan, and they say that Pakistan is the only pious country, and this is only for Muslims, and you are not supposed to be allowed to write a question against the God, or question against the legacy of Muhammad, or question of Sharia, or the question of so many things. And again, I point one thing that here in Pakistan, do you know the minority people like Christian or Hindu, they are only 5% people. 95% people are Muslims, and Shia Muslims also, I think, so 20% Shia Muslim over here, but they have all Shia or the Sunni Muslims. All they are, do you know, unanimously they are agreed on this blasphemy law
Mm-hmm.
and this apostasy and this Sharia law. They all are they agree. Even though see, sometime it is in a, even though Qadiani they are declared here many Qadianis, they left this country, they are living in Germany or UK or maybe in other countries, or some are living here. But they are also to suppose they are also giving support to this, this law, and they also think that this Quran and this God and all holy things, they are all holy and pious.
So how do you think all of this led to what happened to Mashal Khan? Like what is the mentality? Because when I saw the video, we're talking about hundreds of people that are going to his room, pulled him out of his room, and beat him on the street to death. That's very hard for someone like me to reconcile because I've never seen that before. I can't imagine a large group of people doing that for just how somebody thinks. So how do you describe, like, what is the mentality of those people?
Yes, that mentality, you see that mentality because of this open, now you heard and you listen and you watch because of this media, social media and the Twitter, and now, media a little bit free. So message is going to easily in all over the world. People are watching. But before that, it already happened in many times in our history. Many people, that type of mob, 2,000, 3,000 people, they came and they killed easily any person, and they burned too, like many Christian in a Lahore and in a Sialkot, in like in other parts of this country. And if you see before of that, there was our governor, and Salman Taseer. He was governor of one province.
He was the one who was killed by his own bodyguard, right? Because he was
On bodyguard, yes.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see, and how people they make that happiness, and the mob gathered in Islamabad. They celebrate this his hanging.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Salman
Yes.
Taseer, who was a
Yeah.
governor, he was killed because he was very open about opposing Pakistan's blasphemy law, and his own bodyguard
Exact.
shot him. And after he was
Yes.
arrested and subsequently hanged, I believe, the bodyguard said, "I did this because I felt it was my religious duty."
Exact, and not only that one, but you wondered that in a parliament and in a senate, many senators declare that he done good things. Qadri did this good thing, and he killed that Salman Taseer.
So you're saying that the senators said that the bodyguard who shot him did a good thing?
Yes, they are with that bodyguard. So because they wanted to get the vote, and they are getting vote on the name of the religion. See, this was the before that we have the popular legacy of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, and he was the man. He declared this Qadiani as a like he said this Qadiani have no right to free assembly, and he gave the name of Islamic socialism. He put that one Islam more and more, and after that, his legacy. Ziaullah Haq, he was a general. He came into martial and coup, and he imposed that Sharia law. And still, in a 21st century, women are not allowed to be in a jury. Two women are equal to one man in a witness box. See, that situation is existing in the 21st century. So it is obvious, because in a Mashal Khan, and I wondered, but it was not wonder for me, because I see a lot of happens over here, and still that there is a one case. And before that, Mashal Khan, there was Junaid Hafiz. He was came from United States of America, and he was teaching in a Zikra University, Multan English literature. And some, Islamic student, they go, they lodge FIR, and he is from 2013. This is 2017. No jury is not running his trial too. No one is talking, and his advocate, liar, killed by these fanatics, clerics.
How widespread is this? The mentality of blasphemy would and violence and that Sharia, like how typical do you think that is in Pakistan?
It's because I think it is typical because state supporting that type of people, state supporting that law. When state supporting that law, state is the part of this blasphemy. State is the part of this Islam, and the other thing is that liberals are talking over there in the Western countries too. The cause of this all, I think, in my view, that Saudi Arabia is the main cause because the Saudi Arabs, they have a lot of money. They are investing money here in these poor countries like Bangladesh and the Pakistan. They open a lot of Islamic schools and where kids only learn that Quran in Arabic and this Hadith and not other things, and they don't think. They only think that this is the only thing. This is the only truth, and they are talking about the life after death. They are not talking about this life. That's why if you see this figure in Pakistan, people are dying in a hepatitis and a cancer. They don't have drainage system, and the 50% of Pakistani child, they are illiterate. They are not going to in a school because all people generally and the state's discourse is that you don't have this life is an ordinary life, so you do not think about that one. You don't make good things in this life, so you only pray and you read this Quran, and Quran in Arabic form you do not understand. And I read Quran that this is completely stupid book. If you read from the page 1 to in a end, there isn't anything.
You also told me when we had spoken before that it seems like Islam kind of encompasses all subjects. You said that even when people are learning about science,
Exact,
that it
exact,
starts from a Quranic understanding of science.
exact. Yes, yes, exact. If you see in a physics, if you see in chemistry, biology, and the physiology, and even the medical schools and medical universities, you will wonder that doctors, they are teaching that when they are in physiology, they ultimately they said this is the Quran, this is God makes such things, and this is to this NASA is the thief, to USA thief, our ideology, our vision, and everything is available in this Quran, in this holy book. If you can read, you can get everything. So and the recently I gave you update you another thing. There is a Liaquat Medical University in a Jamchoro, where from one girl she joined ISIS. Do you know? Nowadays in a universities, the universities are the, in the place of that. This is this fanatics.
Yeah, those they joined ISIS basically, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exact.
yeah.
And they are preaching there.
How do you feel when people say in the West, because I know you follow on social media how the West is addressing
Mm,
Islam and the problem of fanaticism and the typical very left wing point of view on the problem is to focus it on that it's politics, it's culture, it's everything but religion, and to even
mhm,
insinuate it is largely due to religion. It's never, of course, just religion in any case, but I think a lot of people like me would say that it's a
mhm.
huge part of it is due to religion. But they would say no, it's actually it's even an act of racism or bigotry to even insinuate that. How do you feel about that, being an atheist in Pakistan and you being right in the thick of it, where your existence puts you in danger? Do you think that these people who are calling critics of Islam racist, are they helping you?
Oh no, I think that the people who are talking in a ways, they are talking, a very apologetic way, and they are sympathizers with these fanatics and this Islamization. And my point is that I think that I agreed with you that I am living here. Here is not a social and a cultural, though that problem is also existing. There are the cultural, social, and economical problem. But the major problem here in my country, it is this Islamization, this religion. If you read the constitution of Pakistan, that constitution is it give you a social welfare, the concept of social welfare state. So everything is available in a constitution. So where the basic question is that the religion is a very powerful here, and the religion narratives and the discourse and people are still following, because I think there is a need of reformation, particularly in Islam. So people are not talking about the reform and reformation, but the people, they are talking about, they are giving the favor of Muhammad and Islam, that Islam is the peaceful, that Muhammad was the great, you are the legend, and such things. When they are making such discourse, people think here that, see, the Western people are talking that Muhammad was peaceful. We see the Western people is talking that Muhammad was very intelligent and he gave a very good law, even though he didn't give us any law. There is, because at that time there wasn't any concept of the state in the era of the 17th century or 18th century. You know, and I know very well, this nationalism and the national state concept, it developed from after this industrial revolution. But I don't know how these liberals are giving the favor that this Islam, and they are making more Islam powerful here.
I understand what you mean. You're saying that at the time of Muhammad, there was basically a unification of tribes, and
Exactly.
the rules he imposed was for basically unindustrialized, not really a nation with borders kind of state. It was just, tribal law. And to apply these ideas into what we now know as sovereign states with large territories and borders and senates and parliaments is just it's incompatible to even try, even if the laws were good.
Exactly. Yes. So I don't think why they, and I don't understand that why the Western liberals and some so-called left, why they are supporting this Islamization and this moment, that guy who was himself was murdered. He himself asked to many people, his follower, that killed, who talking against me, you killed them. And even though God, if you see this, I completely 100% agree with Richard Dawkins when he portraying the God, that God is very cruel. And if you see the read this Holy Quran or this stupid thing existing there, you see that Allah is a like a very cruel. He wants to kill all non-believers, and everywhere it is written in the Quran.
I've always found that argument interesting about people like Richard Dawkins, who you just mentioned, that a lot of people will say in the West that atheists like Richard Dawkins, who are white men who don't come from Islam, they're just talking to other atheists and they have no influence outside of the West and just their own atheist circles. But I have found, speaking to people like yourself, that he actually
Exactly.
has a lot of influence.
Exactly, Christopher Hitchens, because they make me as an atheist, they make me as a human being. Because when I study this God or not, God is not great, and God delusion, and before that I also read a lot of literature. So those were the guy. And here in Pakistan, I know personally many people, though their books are banned here. But many people nowadays, through the e-books, they are searching those books, downloading those books, and they are studying those books. And they are studying science too. And people are asking questions. And now I am also happy today. Many people, they protest in all over the country. Though their number are short, number is not too much. There are not too many people, but there were some people. They came on the press gallery, they protest in favor of Mashal Khan, and they chant slogan against this blasphemy law and the Sharia law. So it happened.
In your lifetime living in Pakistan, would you say the country has become less or more religious over time?
It's a more religion, because do you know, see, in a 21st century, before it was 15 years ago, there wasn't concept of Islamic banks. And but the 15 years ago, there was a concept because of the Saudi Arabia and because of this influence. Do you know, nowadays in every bank, even though State and Charter Bank and the UBL Bank, HBL, lot of other, they are international. They are connecting with that international economy. But every bank, it is written that this is Islamic bank. on a boat. So see the situation. So I think that Islam is day by day is growing. It's not going to back. And now it enter in a university. Before that, when I was a student in university, I know personally there were some progressive teacher. There were some the teacher who are not non-believers, and they talk about many topics. But nowadays, when I am going to a university, I see no one is talking about such progressive ideas. Everyone nowadays, they either some feel fear and some are inspired from this Islamic religion. They are under influence.
So every day more, there is more Islamization of the country, the laws, more intimidation to not express criticism. So what do you think then is can be the solution in a country where it's becoming more religious and people are getting more intimidated and more attacked for asking questions? For example, I read in an article that it said Mashal Khan, who was attacked, it said it described him as an intellectually curious student who was openly professed devotion to Islam but asked many questions. So he was himself a Muslim. He didn't say he was an atheist, but he just was critical of the religion. And look what happened to him. And if you have an atmosphere like that, how
That is,
can you? No,
yeah,
please.
that is again. I have criticism about those people who are writing articles and those they are giving the justification to state and people that we are not atheists, we are not agnostic. No, he was a Muslim, but do you know he was curious? That's not the truth. Truth is that many people they are in agnostic, they are in atheist, they don't believe, but we feel fear. We are apologetic. We are giving the. We are not criticizing. We are not making the statement against those who are the murderer, those who are the stupid, those who are the nonsense. We are saying no. You are not nonsense. You are very intelligent people. You are very good people. You know everything is available in. You have every solution. Everything. That's completely wrong. Do you know? That's completely wrong. I'm thinking when I remember a year ago. So I was in in a big literary festival. So there was 300 and 400 people were there, and there were two scholars. They talk about in liberalism and many things. I stand up on that in 300, 400. So I raised the question. I said, why not you people are saying that we are agnostic, or you may say that agnostic is not means is a completely non-believer. I said this term is a little bit, in moderate term. So you people must say that we are agnostic. We don't believe. We don't know that what existing or not existing. But you people are apologetic. You are not saying such things. So that is happening in Pakistan. So people, nowadays we are giving justification, not the Islamic people. They are not giving the justification. Every day they are giving their speeches. They say, you see any non-believer, you see any person who are talking about and against the Muhammad or against the Sharia law or against the Quran and against the God, you may kill them. See the Khadim Rizvi. If you go on a Google, see the Khadim Rizvi, he is a very representing this Ahl Sunnah. And if you see many other guys, even the Jamaat Islami or Maulana Abdul Rahman or many cleric or Islamic organization, they are talking about such things. They are accusing us. We are not in a position to accuse them. Even though we should we make the when we are writing or when we are making the our opinion that we must say that those guys who are following or those who are preaching those are things are nonsense and we don't believe on that nonsense. We are against of that. We are the men of following science, or we are the men of raising that questions that it was either truth or not truth. It was the dark ages story. It's just a fairy tale. The fairy tale like other religions are.
So you're also saying that a lot of the people who are sometimes that this happens to, that they're attacked for blasphemy, or they're outspoken. Sometimes they try to tone down what who they are, or other people say, well, they were Muslim, but oftentimes these were people who are actually agnostic or non-believers.
Exact. Suppose like someone, if the someday or maybe I don't know when I killed or someone killed me, what will they write? They will write that he was Muslim, his name was Muslim, because I am not in a openly. No one knows to me that I am an atheist or not. Many, even though many my friends know to me that I am an atheist, I am talking in atheism, I am talking about science, I am against of this Islam and the Quran and such practices. But if someone killed me, everyone will write that I was Muslim and I was good Muslim. Do you know they will give the justification that I was good Muslim.
And I often say that it's commonly said in the Western world that there are 1.6 billion Muslims. I often say back, well, there is 1.6 billion Muslims minus all those Muslim people who are too scared to say that they're not. And we don't know what that number is.
There are, even though I know there is a very large number existing in Pakistan nowadays, but the people, they are like, they are scared, they are feared, they have their family, sometimes they are studying in a university or something. They are in a different area, in a different position, so maybe they are not saying openly, but there are a lot of people who are in atheist or agnostic or who don't believe on such this stupidity.
So when we were speaking before we start the other day, you said very bravely, you told me that you're not interested in leaving your country. You're happy where you are, and you want to change your country to be better, more secular, less religious, less intimidated by religious fanatics. I think that's a very, very brave position to take. I just wonder what can be done in that kind of atmosphere where, because what happened to Mashal Khan, if you see the video, which I can't recommend to people necessarily that they see it because it's quite horrific, they look, I mean, the video is as horrific as any ISIS video I've ever seen. It's the people are acting, when we talk about, well, terrorism, well, these people are not ISIS members, they're not Al-Qaeda members, they're not terrorist members, they're just Muslim students in a university, and they're acting this way, and that's the mentality you have. How do you fight against that if that's the attitude, if that's the actions of just regular people in your country? How do you fight against that?
Yes, we have the different source and different means to fight against those. If we feel we can't fight, then maybe we left. But the situation is that before some year ago, and we some friends we gathered and we launched one petition, and we see there is a tiny number of people they signed that petition. We raised that question that the state should be separated from religion. That was first time rise in Pakistan. So raise that voice, and we get little bit success, and we did feel some time we feel fear. But in that way, we are still going on. We are working on that, and we are working with the students where I'm teaching, or my other friends who are teaching, or whatever in the profession they are. We are talking with the different people, and sometimes we are making mock and satire, and sometimes we are making comedies on that religious things and stuff. So people bear, and slowly, gradually, we think. But you are right that we have need to. I think that UN is the best thing, but I don't know why UN is not emphasizing. And again, there are many resolutions launching against Israel, but no one launching any resolution against the Saudi Arabia, what they are doing in other Muslim countries. No one is launching the resolution against Pakistan, that why there is a blasphemy, why there is still Sharia law if they are signatory of this human rights. Where are the human rights in Pakistan? Where is the freedom of expressions? So those, I think that Western people and our Western friends, they should raise the pressure against the UN, and the UN must develop pressure against the country of Pakistan and Bangladesh. See, Bangladesh, many bloggers killed by that fanatics and other things. So that is the only solution, I think.
So it's not just angry mobs, like in the case of Mashal Khan, who attack him because he's accused of blasphemy. It's actually also ingrained in the laws and in the government as well. This is not necessarily something that's completely illegal that happens. I think you were telling me a little bit about that. Could you talk about that a
Yes,
bit?
it's a mob kid, that guy that is not a legal, and because of this video and because of this media, it it came through that this is a Western from Western country. They criticizing this Pakistan because news appear in a BBC and CNN and many other news channel which are in a modern world, so and the developed world. So the prime minister, and when that happened at that 8, 12, and 24 hours, none of the state represents they gave a statement against that mob. But when the news appear in all over the world, people start to talk, and some protest happen. After that state, and they say that this is not legal, and that is, mob have no right to kill any person, because if the mob is doing that thing, already the Pakistan is banana republic. So that's why that is the problem of their economy. So that's why they are telling that one to China and the other developed world where from investment is coming into Pakistan. So that state is telling, no, no, we are not allowing to move that they do such things. And that's why they lodged FIR against that mob. They arrested 8 and 12 students, and they said we can put on those persons in a trial. But if you see in the according to Sharia law, it is very 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 right,
And
because even yes.
no, I was going to ask, what is usually the punishment? Because this happens a lot that people attack somebody for blasphemy. They might physically assault them, or they might even kill them. Are those people treated harshly under the law, at least?
Here, under the life's death, punishment is blasphemy is death. Even though
Mm-hmm.
not in the blasphemy, but the people who are talking against blasphemy, it have also be punished according to same law.
Okay,
That's why,
so
yes,
people who enact, for example, kill someone for blaspheming, they can get the death penalty. But also, the person who is committing blasphemy is also committing an illegal act under the same law.
uh, no, the people who are committing blasphemy,
Yes.
he will face the death according to 95cc article that constitution, and the punishment of the people who done the blasphemy, he will face that. And but the now after this Qadris happened, that was the trial case, and that's why I said that I have little hope. This Qadri, the Supreme Court, because of this pressure of international pressure, they hang that god, this Qadri. So that's why they set this trend. But before that, there wasn't any trend. Before that, there was a lot of people killed by the mob, and the government didn't give any punishment to that mob or that people, because they said it's okay. The person who is doing blasphemy and he killed by the mob, it's okay.
So before the when the mobs would kill somebody for blasphemy, it was they just let it go.
Yeah, let us go, because it is written in the Quran, it is written in Hadith.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of tradition. They are following that tradition.
What's the solution when it's in the Quran and Hadith to commit acts of violence against non-believers? How do you fix that if it's in the text and the text can't be changed?
Yeah, that will text will not be changed, but there is the one situation we can change that situation, that we must first develop the pressure that state and the religion should be separated. Number one. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
that we should allow to talk about this like in a Christian Reformation. We see in a Christian Reformation, it came from 16th century or 17th century, when Lalo came, when the Newton came, and many people, they talked about that this is not a truthful book, or complete truth is not available in that book. So we should allow, we said openly that this is a book, And this book have only this stupidity and this is fairy tale. Nothing happen in this world with this book, and this book will not deliver anything at all. So do you know nowadays we are not allowed to say such things.
Either because the groups around you will lynch you, or the government itself will arrest you and possibly kill you.
Both things is happen,
Both
because
things
if
doesn't
I
happen.
talk in that way, maybe government can see before this incident of Mashal Khan, they ban on some bloggers, and this it happened in a trial in a Supreme Court, and Supreme Court asked them. That's why Facebook nowadays they are not send, if you send this material and against the movement and such things, they are editing that things. They asked to Facebook that you should not allow to be a blasphemy and such material of against the Quran and against the movement in a Pakistan.
I saw that recently that Pakistan had requested that Facebook assist them in censoring out blasphemous content from any Facebook users in Pakistan, and they were
Mm-hmm.
actually, to some degree, they were obliging them. They were assisting them in doing that.
Exactly, they are obliging. That's why this is, do you know, this Innocence Moment movie was banned here. It came little video clip was it's a trial clip it came, but the YouTube ban here and many other things it happened. So they are all, do you know? That's why I am saying that why they are collaborating this government. Why not they say Facebook guy or Twitter guy? They say this is international product, and this is the, do you know, freedom of expression. If someone is talking, we are just talking. Why they feel from fear to talk? We are not carry the gun. We are not the people who are killing any other person. We are just giving the talk. We are just talking. We have pen and we have words.
And what do you think about all these people in the West who are almost say it's offensive to push in underdeveloped countries to push ideas of science and atheism and push against Islam? They think this is offensive almost thing to do.
Yeah, they are. Do you know they? I don't know why they are not that they are not pushing that one. If they push, I think that Western countries have power. Suppose if USA put the pressure on this in Pakistan type of countries, and if they go in a UN and such things, and if they develop pressure that why you are carrying this blasphemy, why you are carrying this one, this is Sharia law. If you are carrying that one, we will not allow you to be a member of UN.
Mm-hmm.
This is, you know, this is the demand of the liberal people. Liberal people should demand that one from UN. When the UN they make this Human Rights Commission, 1946, they liberal go there and they protest there that you should be implement that one. Why not you are implementing that one? Why you are allowing Saudi Arabia to carry this Sharia law? If there is a UN, then UN have duty, responsibility. Then all are the signatories, because it was cooperation with the West and the Russia both. They agreed on human rights and the freedom of expression and other things.
Yeah, and they don't. They even have Saudi Arabia on their Human Rights Council and other such stupidity. And yeah,
Stupidity, Pakistan and this Bangladesh and such people, they are there.
they should. I think at the end of the day, they should say either you respect human rights, you end blasphemy laws, you respect people's right to religion or non-belief, or you're outside the human rights, outside the United
Commission,
Nations.
UN, United Nations, go and you sit alone.
Exactly.
You make your own UN.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. They should be kicked out. Either you respect this or you're kicked out. Yeah.
Kicked out. This should be demand, and liberal is not demanding that one.
Not at all. Not. I don't even see that
And
a little
liberal said
bit.
no, 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 no. Liberal said no. You people have a problem. You have you have Islamophobe. Do you know now they will declare you, and even though I talk with you now, they think that I have Islamophobe. They will blame on me. They label on me that I have Islamophobe, I have bigotry, and I have such idea. They don't think in even though in a second that I am living in that country and I belong from that country and I am not going through and getting immigration and not applying for that one. They do not see that one. But again, they see that I have Islamophobia. They do not declare those who are the believing stupidity. They are in a mental disorder. They are not saying that one. They will say, you and me, we have the mental disorder. Because we are thinking, we are writing the question, we are rational people.
We're pointing out a problem of ignorance and mythology.
Yes. But liberal will again blame on us. They will not blame on those one. Those who are doing such things, they will not blame on that one. They will blame on us.
I think you are the epitome of the problem with terms like Islamophobe, right?
Yes.
If you try to apply, like you say everything that maybe almost every critic of Islam says in the West, but you're saying it from Pakistan. So is it Islamophobic? If it is, then that term means absolutely nothing.
This term absolutely nothing. I see this term, monitor this term, and I go through many articles and many discussions. But this term is nothing. Because do you know when you are talking? Because if we are not talking, it means that is the truth. If we are not talking about the Quran and their tradition and what they are doing, if we are not talking about again that, and if we say, if it means if I say that is stupid, if I say the people are ignorant, I say there isn't anything in it at all, why it is against same is happening here in my country. They are putting blasphemy on me, and the same is happening in the Western country. They are labeling me that I have Islamophobe, I have bigotry. That they care. They are alive with that this state.
I totally, that is such a great point, Ali, that the people who attacked Mashal Khan or all the other people for blasphemy and go out and attack them, it's a softer way of doing it, but the liberals in the West are essentially also lynch mobs with the term Islamophobe and bigot and racist, and lynching people not with sticks and stones, but with labels to attack their reputation. Yeah.
Same. In the same page. They are in the same page. They are completely same page. That's why they are attacking Rene Sali. They said she have Islamophobe, she have bigotry and something, because she is talking the truth. That what is the reality? She's telling that one. She's not apologetic. She is not be getting something, but she feels, she understands, and that's reality. And many people in Iran, like an atheist, if you talk someone who's living in Iran, he knows more better than what is going on there than Mariam Namazi. She's living in a UK and she maybe sometimes she's apologetic. She said, no, this is Islamophobe. There isn't any Islamophobe. If I say there is no need in a UK Sharia law, there is no need of burqa, it is where is the Islamophobe in that? Even cell phone, if you see cell phone and the Ufone, Mobiling, and lot of other international companies we have, all they are sending you hadith and Quran, and they have that tone too.
Who's sending you that through to the cell phone? Who sends it?
Those companies, Ufone companies and Mobiling company and other company.
They send you hadith quotes and verses and
hadith quote verses and the Quran ayah. Then there are the tunes of that. Do you know Allah Akbar and tunes of La ilaha illallah?
Why do they do that? Why do the phone companies do that?
Because they think that this is the narrative, this is the discourse, this is the people want from us.
I see.
And they are giving more strength that narrative because we are, in a tiny minorities. So they think this is the market.
And they just reinforce Islam in people's minds.
In people's mind, and everything they are selling. When they are selling, they say this is laptop, this is Islamic laptop, this is Islamic cell phone, this is Islamic phone company, this is Islamic McDonald, Islamic bank, Islamic car, Islamic bank financing, Islamic housing finance. See, At that time, there wasn't any house. How the Islamic house in France come from?
That's a good point.
It was tribal religion. It was tribal. People live in tents,
That's right.
and they say Islam.
Right. Yeah, they're comparing
So there are the lot.
tribal Arabia to now metropolitan parts of Pakistan have McDonald's, universities, homes, banks, housing, insurance.
Bank,
Yeah.
Jamia, Islamic universities. See, after the death of that guy, do you know whole this village of Mashal Khan? There was maybe in near to 20 mosques, and all mosques they make. Do you know? They give to ask to people that no one can go there. Take a body of Mashal Khan. No one can allow because he done the blasphemy.
And
At that
this
time,
was widespread in many mosques that they was said to not go to his funeral.
Not go to, not go to his funeral, and it was spread, in all that area. And there was, if you see in his funeral, there was tiny minority of people. There wasn't too many people because of that things. Because generally people say if you go like many clerics, if you see video, there are the very big mobs, 8,000, 10, 12,000 people are gathered. One stupid person is talking that mob, and people are very happy and they are listening that stupidity. Sometimes they are listening that stupidity when they are telling them. If you see that these are the little bit, I think they have a little bit logic. If you read Torah, they have little bit logic. But if you read this tradition, particularly Islam, they don't have any logic at all.
Right.
Every time if you read, you will laugh. What they are talking about. Yes, whenever I read these books, I am laughing that how people are believing such rubbish things and such ideas.
I feel the exact same way. I also read it and I think, how can people believe this? It's just beyond me.
But the people, they are believing. See the big masses, they are there. And even the political parties head, they are also giving that discourse. That's why Zulfikar Bhutto, he bring the Islamic socialism. He said this socialism is not came from Marx, but it came from Mohammed. See the situation.
Marxism came from Muhammad. Okay.
Yeah, because they said that Marx was thief.
Marx
thief the ideas from Quran. Yeah.
So wait, they say that Marx stole the ideas from Muhammad?
Yes, they said that Marx stole the ideas from Muhammad and from Quran. Okay. That was their idea.
Well, this contradicts a lot of the people who say that Marxism is an atheist ideology. If it came from Muhammad, then that means all the deaths of under Stalin and Mao Zedong were all the product of Islam and Muhammad. Then, right? If that's what they're saying, okay.
Exactly, they are saying, and sometimes people, they don't understand. Whenever they say, and they are talking atheism, and they're saying, see, Stalin killed many people. I said, I am critic of Stalin. I am critic of totalitarian system. I am critic of North Korea. I am the critic of the China. Because we atheists are not those atheists are the communists. We are atheists of the human, and we are fighting the freedom of expression.
Yeah, definitely not like you can say North Korea or the USSR or anything like that. They were not China, secular humanist USA, democracies by any means, right?
Yeah, they are totalitarian system like other Islamic countries are.
Yes.
Like Pakistan is. Like Saudi Arabia, they have same this totalitarian system. There's a kingdom of, and there is some politburo, and they are making rule on the people. They say how you think. First, you get from us. We give you idea to how to think, how to laugh, how to sit, how to sleep, how to fight.
Which is that's a lot what Islam does, right? It tells you how to do everything in your life, how to eat,
yes,
how to sleep, how to pray.
And same is telling you this USSR and the Stalin era and this is China. They are telling you same situation: how to fuck, how to sleep, how to laugh, how to think about,
Yeah.
how to use Facebook, how to use Twitter.
Exactly. So I mean, we agree that like totalitarianism, whether it comes from God or it comes from man and government, it's always a mistake.
Uh, yes, it is. Because do you know that's why I am fan of this America and the France both. Those were I I follow, and my ideal revolution is the French Revolution and the American independence, because both revolution, do you know, they give us only the concept of republic and freedom of expressions for the people, by the people, and people should make the constitution, and all people should be free, and state and religion should be separated. That's why I like them. Those are the real revolution. Otherwise, this is either Bolshevik revolution, whatever they gave, what they give. They same give the bullshit idea, which is giving by the Islam.
I totally. So overall, I think to gather what you've said is that the solution in to push against this is, one, to have secularism where there's separation of religion and state, and that state should protect people's freedom of speech, especially if they're critical of religion. And the West, the public in the West and the UN itself is not assisting countries like Pakistan to establish that kind of secular government with freedom of speech. They're actually doing the opposite. They're actually, in the name of cultural sensitivity and political correctness, they're assisting the fundamentalists to establish a more Islamic state.
Yeah, I look that one, because that's why I see this Canada, or I see this UK and Australia people there. Even though governments, they are sympathetic with them, even though they are giving some leniency to the Muslim. And when the Muslim asking that our kids will not get the sex education, and they say, okay, your kids will not allowed, and we will not teach them. Why they are sympathetic with that one? I wondered why they are doing so, even though in their developed countries, even though Sharia law is existing in the UK, when they are getting divorced and women are wearing such things, and people are talking that they are wearing their own, with their happiness. I don't think so that their women are happy with this niqab or such things and other things, because these are all are bullshits. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think this West should understand this situation, and liberal should understand that situations. And nowadays we don't have need of such economical development and other things. We have need first freedom of expression. We have need good law. We must repeal this blasphemy law and Sharia law. Why it existing in this 21st century?
I totally agree, and I can tell that it's quite amazing, and I feel so lucky to connect with someone like you, Ali, online through social media, because it's so amazing to speak with somebody who is on the completely other side of the world, and we don't share the same culture whatsoever. I'm a Chilean Palestinian. You're an atheist Pakistani. We've never crossed paths before. We probably grew up in the most different atmospheres possible. And despite our differences of culture, we see eye to eye and we understand each other perfectly, when all the basic things we're talking about is not that sometimes people say the problem is the culture, the nationality, this and that. It's actually not. It's
No,
actually,
these are the similar. These are the tiny problem. I don't
yeah,
think so. Nationality, culture, and such things are the problem nowadays.
it's an
Nowadays,
ideology.
we are living. It's an ideology. Like we have the ideology. We are humanist. Are we supporting that one, and the other people who are supporting that backward ideology? So there is the clash of ideology. This is not a clash of culture and the nationality and nationalism. Such are all the bullshit ideas. Now we are not in a 20th century. We are in a 21st century. There isn't any colony. There isn't any empire nowadays. So I don't think so that there is a cultural difference and this nationalism and such things.
I'm totally inclined to agree with you. And like, as immediately as soon as we started speaking for the first time, we understand each other perfectly, and we know exactly
Exactly.
what the problems are. We know what the
Exactly.
solutions are. We know that
Mm.
believing bullshit on no evidence is the problem. We know that freedom
Exactly.
of expression and secularism are the most important things for having a healthy society. And
Exactly.
it's my wish that the West and liberals who have this from themselves and understand this for themselves would apply this mentality to people like yourself.
No, you are doing very good job, and I'm very happy and glad that you are people that you are also criticizing West and also criticizing that Islamic fundamentalist. That's a good point,
Mm-hmm.
and I want that one because I am also from Facebook. I many messages I send those liberals that why you are taking that point. You must take that point. We have need at that time in the 21st century. We have need of freedom of expressions and such things and secularism, and we should be free.
Absolutely, you should. Well, thank you so much, Ali, for being on. Is there any last thing you wanted to say?
I have the only yes, I have the only one message towards my liberal friends and those who are left and those who are declaring themselves moderate. That I have only one message that if you are moderate, if you are liberal, and if you are secular, and if you are left, you should be moderate, and you should support us in the freedom of expression, and you should condemn this, and you do not say, and you do not be apologetic, and you do not say that Islam is the good and Islam is the Muhammad is the good or Quran. You must say that those are the stupid things, those are the fairy tales, not more than that. You must say that one. This is the only message I have to my friends.
That's a great message. Thank you, Ali, so much for being on.
Thank you.
And I mean, we see eye to eye on a lot, but I think you're a much braver man than me. And
You are more braver, and I have, you are my ideal. I see you are in Twitter and many other things, and that, and you are really be fighting a very good war against those who are supporting that fundamentalism and other things.
well, you humble me, Ali, and thank you so much for being on again. Take care.
Nice to talk with you. Take care.